Hello, welcome to Creative Sim. Today I'm going to be making my version of the Grim Reaper. As you may or may not know, you cannot see what the Reaper looks like. They just wear a hood with like a blacked out screen in front of the face, so you can't really see what they look like. So I'm going to be creating my version of the Grim Reaper for this Halloween season if they didn't have the typical soul collector look. Before I get started, I want to say thank you for clicking my video. My name is Peachy Senpai and I enjoy making fantasy sims. While you're here, please consider subscribing to my channel. It would really help me out. I've been wanting to do more Sim-oween content since I feel like I've missed on the opportunity to create fall-inspired sims and build and gameplay, so I'm going to start more Halloween content now. I found this hood when I was looking for Halloween CC and I knew I had to do the Grim Reaper. I've never done a creative sim like this and I think this is a great way for me to just branch out some more. Also, I couldn't really think of any other way I could use this hood in that moment, but now that I'm looking at it, I feel like this hood could have been used in a lot of different ways, but I'm limited because I'd have to use a top or a dress that would look like it's connected. But if I did find like an entire robe or gown, I would have probably used that instead. I just didn't want her to look exactly like the Grim Reaper in game. This creative sim video was kind of easy for me because I was already creating sims that day, so my creative juices were flowing and I knew that I wanted to use the hood, and I also wanted to create a slim framed sim like that had a dark look, but also I didn't want her to look too much like a skeleton or too skinny, but I also could do like a scary version. I went for like a sexy version. To be honest, I felt like at some point I was making her too sexy and she started to look like a dominatrix. But anyway, I knew I wanted to stack skin details like I normally do, which makes me think I should make a guide for myself so I can remember what each swatch is of those little skin packs that I have, and I need the first pack too so I can have more stuff to work with instead of scrolling through everything. I knew I had this frown line for the forehead skin detail and some dark under eyes, so I wanted to give her like not a mean look really, but like obviously you don't want to approach this person. And like I said, I didn't want her to look too skinny, so I used some structure details as well. If you want to see non-fantasy sims and Halloween costumes, let me know in the comments because I have a ton of Halloween content I'm super excited to get into. I'll probably be dropping like 2 videos a week so that I can get plenty of Halloween and fall content out and include CC links in case y'all want to use that in your game too. So I started clearing out a lot of CC that's outdated and I don't like anymore. Like before this video goes up, but after I'd made the sim, I started deleting tons of CC. I don't use a lot of alpha CC and definitely really don't like the look of super alpha CC anymore, like super realistic. So some things I just wondered when or how I even downloaded them in the first place, because a lot of them I just skip over or I look at them and just know I'm not ever going to use it. So I finally decided to clean it out. But I am a hoarder, collector, and I have quite a few things that I collect, like glassware, plushies, miniatures, and hobbies. That's my main thing. I dabble in so many different hobbies. I'm thinking pretty soon I'm going to need a whole room dedicated to my hobbies and pastimes, besides gaming, of course. But yeah, I literally had over 51 GB of CC in my game and I just kept downloading, mostly because I didn't want to deal with the tedious process of removing it, which means I would have to go into Creative Sim, make a sim with all the CC I want to remove, then go into the Sims 4 transporter, go to the file location one by one of each item I want to get rid of, and then delete it. But I remembered that I have CurseForge now. When you open up CurseForge, it loads all of the CC you have in your game and it has thumbnails so you can see what it is. I opened it and it loaded all 20,000 plus of my CC item that I had in my game, and I just started deleting. And I didn't have to do it one at a time because I can select multiple items at once, which is amazing. Just remember, it is a beta application, so you will run into issues. Like a big chunk of my thumbnails did not load, but overall super helpful in dealing with the bulk of that CC getting removed from my game without having to put all that CC on a sim and then delete it one by one in the folders. So I have a long list of sim content ideas, but a lot of it's fantasy ideas. I do like making non-fantasy sims, but I also don't want my sims to look too similar. Like I think I prefer fantasy because I know my sims will look very different because of the aesthetic I'm going for, which leads me to my next topic. I really want to start creating some challenges and get more into gameplay mods and builds. Like I really enjoy decorating rooms and have started teaching myself to build, so I would like to start a series learning how to build in The Sims 4. If you're interested in that or a specific challenge, let me know in the comments and I can definitely try that out. For other creative sim videos making non-fantasy sims, I really want to start creating backstories for each sim because, fun fact about me, I used to be into creative writing heavily. Like when I was much younger, probably around high school or going into high school, I used to write so much and even put one of my stories on Wattpad. If you know, you know. Okay. I almost wrote an entire book though, and I still think about it often, and I think about revamping it and finishing it, but I'd have to make so many changes and it would have to be much more adult because I'm so much older. Yeah, it was giving high schooler. So I definitely have to change a lot of things about my OCs and all of that. So we'll consider that. Most likely I'll keep creating OCs and creative Sim. I've written quite a few short stories, which is why I think I'm so obsessed with Create a Sim, but I really like creating original characters. If you guys made it to the end of the video, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.